We're joined now by head coach Dana Duckworth. Coach, that is the highest score under your tenure as head coach, 197, 875. And
Oh, really?
again, the highest score since winning SECs in 2014. Can you talk about, I know that you've said that this meet has been coming. Can you talk about what it was like to see it start the way it did tonight?
We talk all the time about it takes one spark to start a fire, and I think Shallon Olson may have done the best collegiate vault I've seen her do in Coleman Coliseum in her senior year and let us off stunning. And she did it last week, so I kind of like her in that spot. And it was amazing just to see, a freshman step in and then Shania, Maddie, Lulu hit vault and get that 49.5 that we know we're capable. And then to just continue to carry the momentum and focus on if there was a mistake, do not dwell on it. The next second's more important. And the more we do that, the more resilience that's being built. So I think they did exactly what we wanted to do tonight, which was let's hit 4 events for 4 events as a team. And was it perfect? No. Is there still more to improve? Yes. But what a great step in our confidence in moving forward, especially into next week.
All right, with that, we'll open it up to questions. Katie, go ahead.
You kind of just hit on it some. The same thing I asked Louisa, just after maybe some of the struggles on vault last week, how were we to see that vault lineup kind of hit some of those 10 vaults tonight?
Joyful, as I stand there and I just see them do what they're capable of. I really expected that performance last week. And so when we didn't get it, we did some really intense vault this week. And we put 9 athletes up and we put some pressure on them. And this is why the lineup was what it was. The greatest piece is we have more people, that are like just biting at the bit to get in there. Because I know you asked that question to Lily about bars, and she's sitting there going, I want bars. I want bars. So I know there's this intense amount of hunger from these athletes. They love to compete. They want to continue to get better. And I just think that it brings a lot of joy when you see them hit what they're capable of in practice, in competition.
Robert, go ahead.
Coach, I feel like this season you've really talked about, wanting fans to appreciate, the stuff landing to the nine scores. And during the floor rotation, you were gesturing at the fans to stand up. So can you kind of reiterate how their reaction can help influence the judges and, once you go deeper into competition?
And I may have been a little obnoxious, but the floor team was so good. And I look over and the fans are just sitting there. And I'm like, get up, get off, get stand out of your seats, throw your hands up. I think we saw last week what a great crowd will do to a score and what it does to the environment. And so I get really hungry and passionate myself when I sit there and I'm like, do you realize what athleticism this is and how hard these girls are working and they're going out there and performing their hearts out for you. So when you see them land, you should be up out of your feet. Get some exercise, hour and a half meet. Let's make it work. But I just feel like it fires our girls up, and it brings just so much energy inside Coleman Coliseum, which then impacts the outcome.
Juliet?
Do you know what happened on Shallon Olson's floor routine?
I put a summary in because when both scores, and what happens, the judges slide this thing over and you see 10-0 start value. If there's a compositional problem, they put up another little flag. So none of those little flags or 9-9 start values were there, so I can't do an inquiry, which is what I would normally want to do to see if we could get the score raised. So what we did was called a summary. And so the judges will go into conference, and then I'll get that summary back at the end of tonight and be able to see where those deductions came from. My assumption is the double turn was wonky. I did not like that skill, but by far the best full-in. She's landed tall. Her front to double pike was stunning. We'll have to see. But again, I'm not even dwelling on that score. I was so proud. She literally found out 10 seconds before that Maddie Walagore couldn't do floor. Shallon, you're going. And she smiled at me and I said, if anyone can do it, sweetheart, you can. And she did. And I thought it was great. Yeah.
Robert, go ahead.
During the midweek, you said that, you guys have the capability to score a 198 and you guys were so close this week. So,
Yes.
How does that just only motivate you going forward into the second half of the regular season and then, the postseason too?
From a coaching perspective, what that is for me is the attention to detail. I will go back to the attention to detail and the discipline that we are going to have in order to gain the momentum to cross that 198. For our ladies, my hope is when you're just continuing to fall a little short of what you know you're fully capable of, that becomes their internal motivation. I'm a big believer of what's your intrinsic motivation, because I can't make them want it, right? They've got to want it, and they do. I also feel like sometimes when people have personal disappointment, all I'm watching for is how they respond to it, because that's more important to me than actually hitting sometimes, because it's going to happen. And that's a life lesson. So I just think that it's an awesome opportunity for our ladies to go, okay, what did I do well? What can I do better? And how can we as a team continue to improve our outcomes?
Juliet, go ahead.
Can you talk about how far Louisa's came since her freshman year and what she brings to this team?
Louisa is stunning. She's beautiful inside and out. We are still continuing to work on her confidence in the sense of maybe doubt sometimes she'll have, but she's one of those athletes that she loves a pep talk. And so we take deep breaths together, we kind of settle in. Personally, I don't think she needs it, but she loves it, and I think it just lets her really get reset in each event. She has a beauty and a grace that you can't keep your eyes off her. It's mesmerizing. And I'm just proud with the way she is performing. I believe that she knows there's some little things she can do better, and she will put that work into practice. And so that's what she has to do to get better.
Katie, I think you had a question?
I have a quick follow-up on the Shania thing, so since it wasn't an inquiry, like the score won't change?
No.
Okay.
Yeah. So there was an inquiry on Shania's beam routine because one of the judges had a 9.9 start value. And the second I saw that, I'm like, oh, that's wrong. I absolutely know. So I sent in the inquiry, and we got a half a tenth back.
And then, yeah, because I noticed the score changed. Well, speaking of Shania, that's what I was going to ask about. A really good night for her on all three events she competed. What have you kind of seen from her?
Shania and I needed it. She needed that performance, and I was so proud that she put 3 events together. I was also proud of the fact that in touch warm-up, her vault was not good, and I asked her, can you do it? Do you want it? And she said yes, and I trusted her, and she did a massive vault. Totally capable of that. I know she can stick that landing on bars, so that was the only piece. But as far as her beam routine goes, getting her back out there, again, she is an awesome athlete. And so I just got to continue to build her confidence. We're still working on getting floor where it's at, and that's exciting. So again, one step in Shania's progress and more to come.
Juliet?
To follow up on that, so I know that Shania has had some trouble with the 10-0 start value vault. She's sometimes under-rotated it. What led to the decision to put her into the vault lineup?
The way she trained this week. When we were under pressure, she did one of the best vaults. She did a vault in training the way she competed vault tonight. And so I wanted to trust her. I wanted to, when you have one bad turn, I don't want the girls to start getting fearful that I'm going to rip them out of the lineup or something of that nature. So I was really proud that she trusted her technique, and then she landed it with that kind of excellence. Huge shout out to Makari getting the floor. That floor routine is so fun, and I told her, I'm like, that leap pass, girl, we got to work on that. But other than that, I thought her tumbling, it's sky high, super aggressive, and I'm excited to see her continue to, add to our depth.
Coach, after spending most of the first month of the season on the road, it's now back-to-back home meets with a rivalry meet against Georgia next Friday. What's your message to the fans?
Message to the fans, we need you. You are the greatest competitive advantage we could ask for. Students, you guys bring an energy and an excitement. I was so proud of them. The ones that were on the floor were standing up and putting their hands up and using their shakers, and I was really pleased with that. I feel as we go into next week, it is the power of pink. It's about something greater than ourselves, which I think is awesome. And I don't think there's many people out there that haven't had someone in their life that's been impacted by breast cancer. So come and celebrate those people, celebrate the survivors, and come with us and bring that energy. So yes, the fans, you make a huge difference. And it was so beautiful seeing all the princesses and princesses in the audience tonight.
And the superheroes.
And the superheroes, yes.
Anything else for Coach? All right, thank you.
Thanks, y'all.
Thank you.
Roll Tide.